Jason Sudeikis, we caught up with Jason a couple of days ago, and he's got a new show. It's called Tournament of Laughs. It's hosted by Jason. It airs Sundays at 10 Eastern on TBS. And I started the interview. I asked him, does he get to choose the names of his characters in a movie, like Principal Brown in Booksmart or Kurt Buckman in Horrible Bosses?
Kurt Buckman, no. Although I had a friend named Dave Buckman, so that I think maybe I just sort of like honored that. And then Principal Brown, his full name is Jordan Brown, who is a good friend of Olivia and I's. So like, there's always, if they let you, yeah, I'll always try. I use a lot of old, grade school friends and whatnot. That was a point of pride on my SNL days, was to, never have my name referred to, but playing a doctor and playing like Dr. Tim Grasser, who was, one of my best friends in high school. And it just appears on a door or on a nameplate. And, it really lights my Facebook page up for, a good 3 days.
But Fred in Hall Pass, did you?
Not yet. That was already there. That was I didn't have any of the deep and wide Hollywood juice that I have now. That one I was just along for the ride.
And I'm wondering how often you had guys come up and say, hey, I tried the Hall Pass thing. Like, do you get people in real life who say that they've tried to get the Hall Pass or did the Hall Pass or inspired by Hall Pass?
Literally the most that comes up, it will be like guys being like, hey, man, I love Hall Pass. I watched it in a hotel when I was, away from home, for a work trip. Like it's implying that their wife or their partner would not let them watch it on the home television. Like, no, honey, we're not going to watch Hall Pass. Even though, having watched the movie a couple times, like, we honor the female side of the Hall Pass as well. But yeah, definitely, I've never heard anybody actually take it up on it. I've heard the term bandied around, like, hey, so-and-so's my Hall Pass. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's great. Just sort of like whoever that might be, could be.
But does this come up with your wife where, she'll eventually say, do guys really think that way or talk about that stuff?
It's all make-believe to us. That's the beauty of having someone who's also in the business. When you're an actor, it's such a weird, thing. You have to pretend to fall in love with people and all that kind of stuff. And so she knows it's all make-believe. It's all wish fulfillment.
The show is Tournament of Laughs, and it airs Sundays at 10 Eastern on TBS. How much of a stand-up comedian are you, or did you want to be?
I never did it. I've done stand-up maybe twice. 3 times. The first couple times I auditioned for SNL was in a stand-up venue before they have you do the screen test, which happens on what we call home base. That's like where the host does the monologue. And then the one other time I did it was like a corporate gig hired by a business back home in Kansas City. And I did it where they were like, hey, do 30 minutes. You're opening for the Little River Band. This is true. And and I thought, I'll just, I'll tell like, 3 or 4 stories like from my early SNL days, and then maybe take questions and kind of go the Carol Burnett show route and be like, maybe I can, and it was so scary. It's so scary. I prefer to have, someone on in the foxhole with me of when a sketch is dying or, an improvised scene is dying. And, I'm a team sport guy. And so like stand up, all respect to those guys and gals that do it on a daily, nightly basis. But for me, it's too scary. I want someone in the ship with me when we're going down to look at each other and be like, uh-oh, here we go. This is not flying. Because that time I did it, I immediately called a buddy who worked for that company and texted him afterwards going, Did I just eat dookie in front of everybody for a large, chunk of change from a local, local boy does good, and then clearly, not that good. But it was intimidating to say the least, and just that sort of having no one else to blame it on besides, just yourself and your apathy or your work ethic is too much for me to handle. No, can't do it.
But here you are hosting this, and explain the premise of a Tournament of Laughs.
Well, basically, it's just, it was, pitched a while back by the producers as a way to, make up for the March Madness tournament for the NCAA's being, canceled this year. And, yeah, it's basically stand-ups people who primarily, from stand-up, with some, the different folks too, like Michael Rappaport and Triumph the Insult Comic Dog, having fun, making home videos, and then, letting the audience at home, decide who moves on. And then I'm basically, doing your old gig, like kind of like the host of Sports Center. I just doing a little commentary before and afterwards, and just kind of explaining when, a number 8 seed has upset a number 2 seed or what have you. And yeah, it's today we film it based on last night's, results. So it's about as close to the SNL turnaround that we used to have, which is fun, because I'll do like a table read here in an hour or so, and then it's a pre-tape anyway. But yeah, the turnaround's pretty exciting too, because it's just like go. We gotta film this so they can edit it and then have it ready for next week, and just one thing after another.
He's Jason Sudeikis. The show is Tournament of Laughs. It airs Sundays at 10 Eastern on TBS. When you were in college at Fort Scott Community College, did we ever show any of your highlights on SportsCenter?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It may be on ESPN4. It might have been further down, like in between, footage of a father and son playing catch out back. It would be. It was.
What was the highlight?
I don't think I had many.
What was the highlight of your college basketball career?
That's a good question. Probably when we played against Reuben Patterson at Independence Community College, and he had like 50 points on us, and I would say 40 of them were dunks. Like, that was the highlight.
He went to Cincinnati after that, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, to play basketball, I don't know how much you went to the class. I mean, Bobby Huggins, he coached with a different mentality than than maybe it was the 90s. It was a different time.
And I was also wondering about Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Now, you did those promos for the Premier League with NBC, and then all of a sudden, are we going to do a series on Ted Lasso? Is this like Brockmire, Jim Brockmire?
Right. No, that's which is one of my father's favorite shows. When he heard we were doing the show, and I told him the premise, he was like, "Hey, this sounds like Brockmire." Which if I can make my dad happy that way, then all for it. But yeah, just seven short years later, now it's going to be coming to an Apple Plus channel near you. But yeah, the trailer drops tomorrow actually. And yeah, we filmed the first season. It comes out August 14th on Apple Plus, and it's the same premise as the first commercial. I'm a small-time college football coach who gets hired to coach a professional, Premier League team, a fictional one, AFC Richmond. But yeah, we're 10 episodes, and that all starts in about a month.
Is the mustache real?
Oh yeah, very much so. It wasn't in the second commercial. The second commercial, we I didn't have the time to grow it, but we had some of the geniuses behind the scenes at SNL help me do that. But yeah, this for the TV show, yeah, all real, and the accent's real too. If I've had enough Jack Daniels.
But do you know soccer, or is that part of the fun of this? That I think you're a football coach. Are you a real football coach like our football? Then you go over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Like the whole premise. Yeah, I'm a football coach from Wichita State. Which doesn't have a football team. So, and then, I had a viral video, kind of like, that great video of Roy Williams, walking into the locker room after a Tar Heels victory and dancing and everything for his players. And that video catches the eye of the owner of a professional soccer team over there in the UK. And so they hire me, just to sort of shake things up, because they're at the point of possibly being, relegated and all that. And so, but to answer your question, I learn more and more with every night that I play FIFA, on the Xbox. I learn a little bit more about the beautiful game. But in all honesty, no, I don't know much. And a lot of those commercials, like the guy who plays my assistant coach, Brendan Hunt, who's also plays my assistant coach on the show, and one of the co-writers, co-creators. That's how he describes, football or soccer to me, is by using metaphor, whether it be from, 90s NBA, 80s hip hop, Broadway musicals. Like, he can break it down for me if I am, paralleling it to something I already know. And that's sort of part of the fun of at least for the drive for the comedy of the show, and then the rest is all just the high stakes.
Are you too old now? I think
athletics.
You're turning 45. So are you too old to play video games at home? Will your wife allow you to play video games?
Oh yeah. No, we got a little 6-year-old boy who we would play through Lego Star Wars. There's a deep concern in our household about him becoming addicted to them. we have a group of guys from the show that do play FIFA. Like they have a thing called Pro Clubs, that we play almost nightly, like a golf course. Like, hey, we have a text chain going, hey, someone sends out the bat signal, then we hop on there for, a game. A game takes 17 minutes. We have that down because all of us have partners and other responsibilities. So you can only sit in a room with a control in your hand for so long. And
that sounds like a series in itself, Jason.
I mean, with this Twitch platform, anything's possible.
I know.
It's, quarantine and the internet, anything's a show.
Paul, is Will Ferrell on the line?
Not this time.
Oh, he's not. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm not going to take it personal if you don't.
Were you upset in the slightest when Will Ferrell interrupted your phone call?
No.
Okay.
No. Honestly, I feel like it's he's got to do it. There's demons there that I bet there's part of him that was upset that he did it. I bet if we really got into it, I think there's part of him that probably felt like I let people down, like it's too needy, too thirsty, as the kids say. But no, it didn't bother me at all.
Oh God, we laughed so hard. It was 4 years ago. But that it's those moments that remind you of how funny people are. Your line was so quick and so sharp. Is like you could why didn't you email? You could have emailed, and it was just so in the moment, and it was such a throwaway line. But I still remember it because you're right. And Will, of course, played it off, and I think he was called. He acted like you weren't on the phone. And that he just had to call in. I think we were planning a trip to Dublin, and he wanted to go to the Guinness Brewery. And it was just so random. And it's like, Dan, hey, I'm doing an interview with Jason. Okay. Hey, I really want to go to Dublin with you guys. And then that's when I think he said, couldn't you have emailed?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Maybe he was in the car. Maybe he was doing the safe thing. Who knows? But yeah, no. I mean, Will, Tom Hanks, Oprah Winfrey, Beyonce. There's certain people that if they interrupt you, you don't mind. I mean, maybe if it becomes habitual. If it's like again, if he would have done it today, then that'd be something we'd have to have offline conversations about. The three of us, I think.
Well, good luck with all the projects, certainly with what's going on with Tournament of Laughs. It's great to talk to you. Thanks again. We appreciate it.
Yeah, talk to you in 4 years. Yeah,
all right.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jason.
All right. See you guys. Bye now.
That's Jason Sudeikis, Tournament of Laughs, and it's Sundays at 10 Eastern on TBS.